I have to admit, this scene really brightens your eyes, huh? Gu Changa said, compared to that brocade pouch, I'm more interested in Miss Bai Lian. Oh, don't misunderstand, I just want to say that, compared to the brocade pouch, I prefer you and the forces behind Spring Breeze and the Jade Tower to serve me. Bai Liener asked, serve you? I'm afraid we won't have a good outcome, and it's really hard to convince everyone to trust someone like you. Gu Changa replied, I know you're not afraid of death, but your father's life, the power behind you, and your junior brother's fate are all under my control. Miss Bai Lian, who do you think you can trust now? Of course, if you don't care about me at all, then I won't lose anything. After speaking, Gu Changa tightened his grip on the iron hoe, causing him to scream in pain. Then Bai Liener said, all right, I can agree to you. Gu Changa smiled and said, Miss Bai Lian is indeed smart. Talking to smart people is really easy. Then, Gu Changa turned around and shouted, Luo Chen, give that wine to Miss Bai Lian. Luo Chen stood up angrily behind the table and shouted, do you really think I'm your maid? Bai Liener was quite surprised, thinking, she's the princess of the heavenly clan, Jiang Luo Chen, how did she become Gu Changa's maid? Gu Changa didn't care about Luo Chen at all and said, all right, now you can hand over the brocade pouch to me. Bai Liener smiled and replied, weren't you just acting like you weren't interested in the brocade pouch? After hearing these words, Gu Changa smiled brightly, hiding his slightly awkward mood. He continued, ha ha ha. Everything has changed. Now we are people working together. What reason do you have not to hand it over to me? Bai Liener replied, if I give it to you, I will have no more trump cards. What if you turn hostile and kill us immediately? Gu Changa laughed heartily, ha ha ha. Trump cards? From the moment you faced me, you had no trump cards left. If I want to kill you, no one or anything can protect you. But don't worry, because Miss Bai Lian knows the current situation, so I won't deceive you. After saying this, Gu Changa let go of the iron hoe. Bai Liener was shocked, thinking, this Gu Changa is really dictatorial and cunning. Then she replied, so when can you release my father? Gu Changa smiled and replied, no need to rush. First, you have to do something for me. Bai Liener thought, he's really not simple, he's an old fox. Then she asked, what is it? Gu Changa answered. I want you to use any method to find evidence that Jun Fan is plotting to assassinate Shi Jiao. Bai Liener was very surprised after hearing this, knowing that everything had been seen through by Gu Changa. The scene shifted to Queen Shi Jiao's side, where a maid came to report, Your Majesty, King Pingchuan has led his army to conquer Jun Ruoshi. I heard this was arranged by the young Master Changa in your name. Shi Jiao said, it doesn't matter, I know. However, she was confused, thinking, what is he really plotting? Jun Ruoshi's cultivation is unfathomable, and for the past 6,000 years, she and I have never interfered with each other. Then she asked, by the way, Jun Fan went to battle with his father, right? The maid replied, yes, Jun Fan was personally selected by young Master Changa. Shi Jiao thought for a moment, indeed, Gu Changa seems to always deliberately or unintentionally remind me. Could Jun Fan really be Jun Bufan? At first, I thought he was here to help me, but thinking carefully, who controls the demon realm has nothing to do with him. His purpose for coming to the demon realm must be something else. The scene shifts to Gu Changa. He had already obtained the brocade bag. He smiled very kindly and gently, saying, this brocade bag looks ordinary, but it hides many terrifying restrictions. Could it be specially prepared for Jun Bufan? No one else can open this except him. Unfortunately, I'm not an ordinary person, I am a superhuman. After saying that, Gu Changa took out a porcelain bottle and released the aura inside. Gu Changa thought to himself, let's see if your restrictions can withstand my treasure bottle Dao. Then the aura rushed toward the brocade bag. Sure enough, the restrictions outside the brocade bag were broken. Other auras instantly poured out from inside. Gu Changa's expression became extremely shocked. Then, Boom boom boom, a series of booming sounds rang out, shaking the entire hall. A mist appeared around, seemingly containing messages from ancient times. Gu Chang'e was surprised and thought, without the help of treasure bottle Dao, this disturbance. Is it the origin of the world, or is it undergoing transformation? Striving to evolve into a more advanced world. Is this the real reason for the disappearance of the 6 emperors? Did they want to break through the immortal realm during the evolution of the demon realm? During the normal evolution of the demon realm, there would definitely be aura leaks, but the major sects in the upper realms never noticed. The 6 emperors must have covered up this secret together. Logically, it is impossible for the demon realm to give birth to 6 Dao achievers, which itself is unreasonable. Perhaps this plan has been going on for a long time, a world-shaking game, with the demon realm as the chessboard and all living beings as the pieces. And Jun Bufan and Shi Jiao are merely 2 pieces in their hands, meant to deceive others. It's perfect to use the chaos of the demon realm for 6,000 years to cover up the truth behind the disappearance of the 6 emperors, shifting all the blame onto Shi Jiao. Outsiders might think she got lucky, but in fact, she's the one who's unlucky. Suddenly, a giant figure appeared inside the brocade bag. He angrily said, "Humph, kid. Who are you? Where is my son, Jun Bufan? Speak quickly, or if you dare deceive me." Gu Chang'e smiled brightly and said, "What's so surprising about A of the Demon Emperor?" After saying that, he brought the porcelain bottle closer to the Demon Emperor, terrifying him. Then came another round of booming explosions. Inside, Gu Chang'e was enjoying the taste of the dilemma of the Demon Emperor, the origin of the 6 emperors, and the origin of the demon realm's evolution. Truly tempting. But Demon Emperor Xianyang really has a cruel heart. Even calculating his own child, leaving this to tell Jun Bufan that it was all a misunderstanding. Shi Jiao killed him 6,000 years ago, but in reality, it was because the 6 emperors secretly manipulated him and persuaded him to let go of his hatred. Then they had Jun Bufan use the key given to him by Demon Emperor Xianyang to find his residence. He said he left the key to Jun Bufan, but perhaps only Jun Bufan could get it. "I don't have the origin of the world, so I'll temporarily use the MANHWA magic chi as a substitute." The scene shifts outside. After a while, Gu Chang'e came out holding the brocade bag and said, "This is everything I wanted to give you, then give this brocade bag to Jun Bufan." Bai Lian and I asked, "What's inside?" Gu Chang'e replied in surprise, "I don't know. I can't even open it." "Do you need me to deceive you, Miss Lian and I? We're in the same boat now." Bai Lian and I helplessly said, "Humph, you really." After that, she left. Luo Chen ran over to report, "Gu Chang'e, the tea is ready." Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "I suddenly don't want to drink it anymore. I'll go find someone who loves to laugh to drink it with me." The scene shifts to the Pingluan Wang mansion. Inside, a woman in green asked, "How does young Master Chang'e feel?" Gu Chang'e replied, "I didn't expect to see Miss Jun Jiao's tea ceremony skills when I came to the demon realm. It's not a wasted trip." Jun Jiao smiled widely, excitedly saying, "Really? If young Master Chang'e likes it, I will make tea for you every day. If you have time, you can come here." Gu Chang'e squinted and smiled, saying, "Of course, I like it." However, the young man thought to himself, from Jun Jiao's luck, perhaps Jun Fan must really care about his sister, Jun Jiao. And Jun Jiao, believing it to be true, happily thought, "Oh my god, the perfect young Master Chang'e is actually sitting in front of me discussing tea making. I have a chance. Ah ha ha." Gu Chang'e, however, was thinking sinisterly to himself, "How should I use this move, the water chess?" The scene shifted to Queen Shi Jiao's room. A maid spoke, "Your Majesty, the people that needed to be dealt with have been taken care of." Shi Jiao asked, "What has young Master Chang'e been doing these days?" The maid replied, "Replying to your Majesty, young Master Chang'e has frequently been visiting the Pingluan Wang residence." Shi Jiao said in surprise, "Pingluan Wang residence? Didn't King Pingluan leave a few days ago? What is he doing there? The maid seemed to hesitate a moment before answering. He went to find the second miss of the king, Miss Jun Jiao. Your Majesty. May I ask, is young Master Chang'e on your side? Another maid also interrupted, yes, has he fallen in love with Jun Jiao? Before she could finish, a familiar hand rested on her shoulder. It was none other than the young Gu Chang'e, with his signature wicked smile on his face. Gu Chang'e grinned brightly and said, you gossip. Too much, I just went to make tea. Who says that recently, your Majesty is always avoiding me? Shi Jiao immediately ordered, you may leave. She then turned to Gu Chang'e and said, I have been very busy lately. Gu Chang'e walked over and said, your Majesty has been very busy, I understand. If you won't come to see me, I'll have to come to see you. The young man then put his arm around Shi Jiao's shoulder, as if performing in a play, and loudly said, let me see the commander of Yao City. Abusing his power, oppressing the people, embezzling 90,000 gold, his whole family should be executed. I hate corruption the most. Shi Jiao turned her head and asked, do you have something to say? Gu Chang'e smiled and answered, of course, I'm here. To help you solve your troubles. Shi Jiao flustered and said, troubles? Are you sure Jun Fan is really Jun Bufan? Gu Chang'e, seeing Shi Jiao not avoid him, boldly walked forward and answered, what does it matter if I'm sure? You're the queen, not everything can be asked of me, you must think for yourself. Shi Jiao blushed and shyly asked. If I knew, would I still ask you? What did you say that day? After deceiving my body, you just abandoned me? Gu Chang'e replied, it was a mutual decision, how could that be called deception? Jun Fan's matter will soon have a conclusion, and when the time comes, you'll decide what to do. The two then began their 500-round battle, he with a hammer, she riding a horse. In the distance, a group of people were also riding horses, but they were not on Yen Laoma horses, rather, they were riding horses for battle. This was the army led by King Pingluan, heading to capture the daughter of the Xianyang demon emperor, Jun Ruoshi. King Pingluan shouted, ahead is a forbidden area of life and death, everyone stay in place, do not move. Jun Bufan spoke, Father, are we really going to clear this place? King Pingluan replied, of course, Her Majesty the Queen gave the order, and Jun Bufan is likely hiding here. If we catch him, the Jun family will rise to new heights. Jun Bufan pondered, 6,000 years ago, my sister entered the quasi-supreme realm. Now, 6,000 years have passed, and her strength can definitely protect herself. I'll go see her first. After saying this, the young man stepped on the gas and rushed in, shouting, Father, I'll scout ahead to avoid the army being ambushed. King Pingluan asked, do you need to bring a team of soldiers? Jun Bufan replied, no, just one person is enough. The scene changed. A moment later, the young man had ventured deep inside, and it was extremely cold here, seemingly devoid of life. Jun Bufan looked around, muttering to himself, has she been living in a place like this all these years? Suddenly, a shining sword flew toward him from behind. With his high martial skill, Jun Bufan easily deflected the sword, then shouted, who is it? It was the long-legged beauty, Bai Lianer. She spoke, Jun Bufan, 6,000 years have passed, you don't seem to have changed much. Jun Bufan was shocked and exclaimed, you are Lianer? Bai Lianer had a blank expression and did not answer. Wei Bufan excitedly ran over and said, that's right, no mistake. Your aura is unmistakable, it's really you. Long time no see. How did you end up here? How did you know my identity? He wanted to reach out to embrace Lian Qian, but she pushed his hand away and said, how did I find you? You should ask yourself that. By daring and so obviously assassinating Shi Jiao, do you really think everyone is as foolish as her? Even if you turn to ashes, I can still recognize you, after all, because of what you did to me. Wei Bufan couldn't argue and just softly said, Lian Qian, I am sorry for what happened in the past, but after so many years, it should. Bye. Lian Qian interrupted him, saying, forget it, we won't talk about other things today. I came to find you hoping you could help save my father. Wei Bufan was surprised and said, Uncle Baikuan. He fell into Gu Changa's hands. Unless I can overthrow Shi Jiao's rule and become the new ruler of the demon world, even if the heavenly realm sends help, I'd really like to assist, but I am powerless. Lian Qian, you have to trust me. I also wish I could tear Gu Changa into pieces. Bai Lian Qian thought for a moment and said, Wei Bufan, your father was loyal to mine, yet now he's in such a predicament. She then said, don't be quick to refuse. Right now, although you're no match for Gu Changa, that doesn't mean you won't be in the future. Your father once entrusted my father to pass this on to you when the time came. Later, when my father was captured, this item was handed to me. Wei Bufan thought joyfully, so this is what my father wanted to give me. With this, I can turn the tide. Then he excitedly said, thank you, Lian Qian, for taking such a huge risk to bring this to me. Lian Qian, don't worry, your matters are my matters, I will never let Uncle Baikuan fall into danger. But suddenly, Bai Lian Qian withdrew her hand. Wei Bufan, confused, asked, Lian Qian, what do you mean? Bai Lian Qian replied, I want you to swear by your heart, to rescue my father from Gu Changa, or I won't give you this pouch. Wei Bufan thought in surprise, after all these years, it's understandable that she doesn't trust me. And now, her aura has probably already reached the quasi-supreme realm, relying on brute force is not enough. Wei Bufan then raised his hand and said loudly, Lian Qian, don't worry, I will swear. But he thought to himself, no matter what, I'll get the item first. After a round of persuasion, Bai Lian Qian finally agreed to hand over the pouch. Wei Bufan then asked, what plans do you have now? Bai Lian Qian replied, no plans, just waiting for you to rescue my father. Wei Bufan smiled and replied, revenge and annihilate the demons, unify the demon world, go to the upper realms and rescue Uncle Baikuan, but just by myself, it's probably a long road. Lian Qian, can you let go of all past grievances and stay by my side? Trust me, this time I won't disappoint you. Bai Lian Qian thought, everyone knows Gu Changa recruits people through coercion and temptation, I don't know whether to call him confident or. Suddenly, a voice came, Bufan. Bufan, is that you? Wei Bufan exclaimed in surprise, Sister Ruashi. That's Sister Ruashi's voice. Then, the two flew towards the source of the voice. In mid-air, the cry of Bufan echoed continuously. After a while, the two arrived at a well, surrounded by intense energy, and the voice spoke again, Bufan, you've finally come. Sister has been waiting for you for 6,000 years. Wei Bufan anxiously shouted, Sister Ruashi. Are you in this well? Wei Ruashi shouted loudly, stop. Don't come near. With your current cultivation, you can't resist it. Wei Bufan said nervously, this well. Sister, Shi Jiao's army is already prepared. Wei Ruashi replied, I know what you're going to say. But don't worry, unless it's someone I want to. See, no one can find me here. When I made the agreement with Shi Jiao, it was just to delay her. I know. You have many questions, but right now, it's hard to explain. There's not much I need to tell you, just know that only by using the key to open the dead door can you find Father and directly ask him. Wei Bufan asked, a key? What is that? Where is the dead door you're talking about? Jun Ruashi said, I think your father must have arranged for someone to give you the key. As for the death door, I don't know where it is. Only the one holding the key can find it, and it should have been given to you. Jun Bufan pondered, could it be the brocade pouch? Bai Liener thought for a moment, the 6 emperors disappeared, and now it seems there is more to the story. In other words, my father had to live in exile for many years, and even my mother died because of the 6 emperors' plan. Yet my father foolishly treated the Xianyang demon emperor as a brother, helping him guard the brocade pouch for over 6,000 years, fleeing and being hunted for years. It's truly ironic. Jun Bufan continued, my father once said the death door leads to the life door. Could the ancient well you are in now be the life door?